Australian travel restrictions and exemptions. Australia has still shut its borders for travelling to control the spread of COVID-19. You can travel to and from Australia only if you are exempted or given an individual exemption. Travel restrictions may change in response to the circumstances surrounding COVID-19. You can stay informed with the latest updates by subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you are transiting through Australia, further information can be found on the official Transiting Australia webpage. COVID-19 vaccination and travel exemption eligibility. As COVID-19 vaccination programs become available worldwide, the Australian government is considering options to resume international travel. This will be a gradual process, informed by expert health advice. Vaccination status does not currently determine or influence the outcome of a travel exemption request. Travellers may receive exemptions if they meet the guidelines for a discretionary exemption or meet an exempt category. Exemption requests for travel from India. Based on current health advice, individuals seeking an exemption to travel from India to Australia will only be approved for the following limited circumstances. Critical workers giving support to Australia's COVID-19 response. Individuals travelling in Australia's national interest. Individuals travelling because of a death or funeral of a close family member in Australia. Individuals visiting a close family member who is seriously ill. Individuals accompanying an Australian national or permanent resident minor back to Australia, where the parents of the child are currently in Australia. Supporting evidence must be provided. The discretionary exemptions, outlined in the Commissioner's guidelines, excluding the limited circumstances stated above, do not currently apply to people travelling from India. This advice is subject to change. Please check back regularly. Exemption requests to escort Australian citizen or permanent resident minors. Travel exemptions may be granted to people travelling with Australian citizen or permanent resident minors to Australia. This is to ensure the safety and welfare of the child or children during travel. Travel exemptions for this category are generally approved under the following circumstances. One guardian for each child under the age of 2 years will usually be authorised. Only one guardian within the same family group for multiple children over the age of 2 years will usually be authorised. Additional guardians may be considered on a case-by-case basis if medical guidance and proof is provided. Unless exceptional circumstances apply, people escorting Australian citizen or permanent resident minors to Australia should be a relative, for example, aunt, uncle, grandparent. Temporary visa holders. Temporary visa holders in Australia can depart Australia at any time, however, they will generally not be permitted to return. More information can be found at official webpage in the Temporary Visa Holders Leaving Australia for a Short Trip Overseas section. Exempt categories. You are automatically exempt from the travel restrictions and can enter Australia without obtaining an individual exemption if you are an Australian citizen, a permanent resident of Australia, an immediate family member of an Australian citizen or permanent resident, a New Zealand national, typically living in Australia, and their immediate family members, an individual who has been in New Zealand or Australia for 14 days or more, immediately prior to arrival by air in Australia, a diplomat attributed to Australia, including their immediate family members. Each member of the family unit need to hold a valid subclass 995 visa. An individual transiting Australia for 72 hours or less. Airline crew, maritime crew including marine pilots. An individual person recruited under the government-authorised seasonal worker program or Pacific Labour Scheme. An individual who possesses a business innovation and investment, subclass 188, visa. Passengers who possess a temporary visa, or do not yet hold a valid visa for Australia, must give proof of their relationship, such as your marriage certificate, evidence of your de facto relationship, such as shared finances or property, their birth certificate, or birth certificate for their children to the department, before they travel to Australia. Do not travel until you receive any go-ahead. You can find out more about how to provide this information at Immediate Family of Australian Citizens, or Permanent Residents or New Zealand Citizens usually resident in Australia, section of the official website. You must carry evidence that you fulfill one of the aforementioned categories when travelling. Additional evidence may be requested. If you are not in an exempt category, you can request an individual exemption to Australia's travel restrictions. This is the end of today's video update. Please don't forget to support us by subscribing to our channel and press the bell icon to get notified. Thanks for watching.